it's a new trend as a large portion of our population ages. More and more older parents are moving in with their now adult children and their families. A recent survey finds that dedicated guest rooms, including in-law suites, have become more popular over the past couple of years. Last year, 39% of surveyed architecture firms said they were seeing more demand as more households have become caretakers for aging relatives. That's compared to only 10% in 2012. Well, blending households affects every member of the family, but our next guest says that doesn't have to be the case if you have a firm family meeting. Licensed therapist Leticiamurphy is here with more. Always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much.
So let's talk about, what do you need to do when the parents call and say we need to move in with you?
Well, the first thing I want to put a disclaimer is we love our parents.
Yes.
Okay. Second voice would probably be OMG. And the very first thing I would say is you need to talk to your partner, because I say if you don't talk to your partner and your partner agrees, all of you may be looking for a new home. Okay. And I like to tell my clients that's no joke. Make sure it's okay with your partner. We don't need any more stress.
And what if there is maybe not such a happy relationship with the in-laws? What happens there?
Oh, wow. Okay, so in reality, what happens is you try to find a neutral ground. You try to, I say be honest with your spouse. Say, you know, I don't necessarily get along with maybe my mother-in-law. It's not true, mother-in-law. However, I love you. And so how can we make this work? We're going to have some rules, some expectations. I'm going to need some escape plans for myself.
Escape plans. So compromise,
Yes,
basically, right? You have to compromise in a family. And let's go ahead and talk about expectations with your parents. Again, this is now your home, not their home. It's different from when you were living under their roof.
Okay, so if they're coming to my home, I say it's my rules. And the reason I say this is because sometimes if we were reverting back to childhood, they're going to be like, obey me. And I'm like, I'm 40, I'm 50, whatever.
You look gorgeous.
I thank you. And I'm not going to revert back. I have a spouse, I have my own kids. So basically it's like, these are the expectations and I need you to abide by them.
We're going to have fun with this. So do you give them a curfew if they go out?
No curfew. But I do say, limit, you cannot walk around in your tidy whities. Not appropriate. Don't want to see that.
Exactly. That's some good advice there. Now, let's say if your parents are elderly or sick. In that case, what do you have to do?
In that case, if they're siblings, we need to talk. Everybody needs to be on the same page. We have to talk about their health and their living arrangements and finances and how they're going to come and visit.
And that's interesting you mentioned siblings, because I come from a family of 7 kids. So with large families, the responsibility shouldn't just be on one of the siblings, correct?
Correct. You guys should be able to share, but some of us live across country and it's really hard, and some of us have power of attorney, but I like everybody to buy in as much as possible.
And we just recently mentioned earlier, before we got to this, that a lot of families are now building in-law suites and casitas, and that's another wonderful thing to do.
I'm encouraging one of my kids. I want my own carport though, and so I think that's great. I would love to have that. That's a hint to my daughter.
Hint. And I have to say, you know, as someone who unfortunately lost my mom way too soon, and I would give the world to have her living with me, it is important at this age that we really appreciate our parents, and regardless of, as you mentioned, the relationship we had them before, because they might not be around for very long, and take the time, I always say, to appreciate them and thank them for all their sacrifices, because even though it might seem like it's a sacrifice them moving in with us, they made so many sacrifices that we're not even aware of.
That's true. Yeah. And life is so short. So love on them, enjoy on them, and hopefully it'll be a reciprocal relationship. And I always say, if you're going to be a caregiver, make sure you get some vacation time in. Keep your sanity.
That's great advice. I like that one. And of course, Leticia, we love having you. As we mentioned, we'll be back tomorrow to talk about what happens when your adult kids call and say, Mom, Dad, I'm moving back in. Dun, 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 dun. You have to hold on until tomorrow for that one, Jason.